They laughed until the chandelier trembled. Not with me, never with me. I was the punchline, the guy in the rumpled blazer at the end of the walnut table, while my brother-in-law's latest fling, Julian, spun gold from thin air. He just called my pickup a rolling foreclosure notice, and the room detonated. My wife, Claire, dabbed her lips with a napkin to hide the grin, then hissed under her breath, "Don't embarrass us again." The words landed like a scalpel. Something inside me went still, the way a lake freezes from the bottom up. I used to be the family spine. When Claire's dad nearly tanked his hardware chain, I rewrote the books overnight. When her cousin needed seed money for a trucking outfit, I found the angel who didn't ask questions. I was the quiet engine. Engines don't sparkle, fireworks do. And Julian arrived with a private jet grin, a watch that cost more than my truck, and anecdotes about disrupting supply chains that had everyone leaning forward like he was handing out lottery tickets. 2 months in, they treated him like the second coming. I'd seen the type, silk tongue, paper soul. I said nothing. I smiled the way a man smiles when he's counting heartbeats until the right moment. The next morning, I opened the laptop I hadn't touched since. Claire begged me to slow down. Old reflexes woke up. Julian's digital exhaust was everywhere. Instagram flexes with leased Lumbos, LinkedIn posts about unicorn exits, a podcast where he claimed to have seeded half of Silicon Beach. One company name kept repeating, Apex Meridian. I'd audited them 4 years ago, right before the feds padlocked the doors. I still had contacts who owed me. By Friday, I held a dossier thick enough to choke a shredder, forged diplomas, LLCs nested like Russian dolls, a restraining order under the name Jude Marlowe. Julian was a traveling grift in Italian loafers. I didn't tip my hand. I waited. Claire announced the next gathering with the glee of a wedding planner. Julian's been named Chief Strategy Officer at Vanguard Capital. Can you believe it? I could. The firm had been shuttered since the SEC raid. Perfect. I wore the charcoal suit she once called funeral director chic. Julian held court again, voice oiled, gesturing with a glass of something older than my marriage. He talked synergies, burn rates, a Series C that would redefine logistics. Every syllable another knot in the rope. Then he looked straight at me. "Remind me, Mark, what is it you do when you're not between opportunities?" The table tittered. Claire answered for me. "He's figuring things out." The laughter crested. That's when Julian overplayed. He dropped Vanguard Capital's full name, complete with the defunct suite number I'd memorized from the indictment. I set my phone face up on the linen. "Funny," I said, voice flat as a frozen pond. "Vanguard's been dark since the FBI hauled out the servers. Same tax ID you used on the shell in Delaware." I swiped. A driver's license with his cheekbones and a stranger's name. Another swipe, the sealed complaint. Claire's sister, Lauren, made a sound like a stepped-on bird. Julian's tan drained to printer paper white. He tried to chuckle, but it cracked like cheap ice. "Creative editing," he muttered. I wasn't done. Tag. Page 7, your signature on the wire instructions that emptied Mrs. Langford's trust. She's 82, by the way. Sends her regards. The room inhaled and forgot to exhale. Julian stood so fast his chair toppled. I lifted a finger. "One more thing. Your Porsche?" The VIN traces to a lien in Nevada. Marshals are probably circling the valet right now. As if I'd rehearsed it with fate, Knuckles rapped the front door, 3 measured knocks that silenced the blood in everyone's ears. 2 detectives, 1 warrant, 0 patience. Julian's cuffs clicked like a stapler. Claire wouldn't meet my eyes on the ride home. When we walked in, she started, "You didn't have to destroy him in front of," I cut her off, gentle as a guillotine. "You asked me not to embarrass the family. Consider it handled." She stared like I'd spoken Swahili, then drifted upstairs. The suitcase wheels on hardwood the next morning were the last sound she made in that house. The invitations stopped. So did the whispers about my career gap. Word spread faster than the police report. Frozen accounts, depositions, country club memberships revoked. I reopened my consultancy under a new LLC, no fanfare. Clients found me the way mice find crumbs, quiet, grateful, discreet. Sometimes Claire's sister calls, voice trembling, asking if I can look at something for a friend. I let it ring. The silence isn't empty anymore. It's full of leverage. And every night, when the house settles and the lake outside the window goes mirror still, I raise a glass to the man they forgot I was. The engine, running smoother than ever,